Welcome everyone to the BIDE podcast, the podcast of Barcelona International Dance Exchange. Today in episode number 77, we are with our friend Nina Mesko. So welcome Nina to the BIDE podcast. We're super happy that you're joining us today.
Thank you for the invitation, and I'm so glad when I heard the number 77. I mean, it's like number that I like, and it's also great to hear that you had already so many podcasts done. So thank you for the invitation. Yes.
Oh, you're more than welcome, and that's lovely to hear as well. And yeah, and I'm glad that 77 will hopefully bring some positivity to your day as well and to this conversation. So we like to start. Many people start obviously with talking about what our work is, but actually we love to start just first of all to give some geographic context. So where do we find you today? Where are you talking to us from?
I'm talking from Ljubljana, Slovenia. I'm in the very center of Ljubljana because my office where I work, it's in the center of Ljubljana. So I know that Slovenia, it's hard to find on the map because it's a super small country. It was part of Yugoslavia, but now for more than 30 years, it is like independent country. And I know people have hard time to find it, especially if they are not from Europe. But then I can say that it's really close to Austria, Croatia, Adriatic Sea, Hungary, and Italy. So then it's a bit easier to imagine where it is located. We are a really small country. People are amazed when we say that it's not even 2 million Slovenians. So we are a really small nation, less than Barcelona city for sure. But that's how it is. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you for that. That's really interesting to hear about, how connected, I guess, in terms of how close you are with other countries, but also that the size of the nation as well within Slovenia. And I haven't actually been to Slovenia, so I hope that one day soon I can come and visit. Yeah. So let's get to you. So again, rather than going straight to your work, so we'd love to know who is Nina Mesko? So what makes you you? How would you explain who you are to our listeners?
I mean, when I think of me, I always would since as I know for myself, dance is always my way of living. I dance since I know my first steps were like I was moving all the time. So I would probably never say I'm a dancer, but dance, it's really my passion, which since I know for myself. So, and actually I'm very happy that somehow I could discover that I had enough opportunities in this small country that I live in to be introduced already at the very early age to really creative approach to dance. So I was used since I was like, 10 years to improvise, to express myself through the dance, not to be that I would not learn so much dance techniques, which was also one part. But in our group that I danced, we were all the time creating choreographies, performing a lot. And so that really was something what triggered me already at that I could see that I can express myself through movement and dance. And so that's how then my life went further on, always connected to dance. And now already for more than 15 years, I try to offer as much as opportunities also to others to get to know, to be introduced to creative dance, because it's really not so normal that kids would try to express themselves through bodies, or young people. I mean, it's normal that you do drawings or paint. It's normal that, normal, it's not the right word, but it's like common. People are like, it's part of the school, it's visual arts, it's music, but dance, it's not. So I really, at the position that I'm working now, which is that I'm head of the dance department at the Republic of Slovenia Public Fund for Cultural Activities. Our focus is really to bring creative dance to kids and young people all over the country. So, and in our institution, it's organized like that we have a central office in Ljubljana and then local offices all over Slovenia. So we can really work on that whoever is curious or interested in contemporary creative dance can somehow find a way to go into it. Yeah.
Amazing.
So, I mean, so immediately I start to talk about my work because I think I'm happy that I can relate to my work. It's not that I go to my job or to my work and then I have another private life. This is really all connected. Most of the friends are artists somehow. I mean, not only dance artists, but also music, visual theater artists, film artists. So I'm really, somehow part. I mean, this art, it's part of me. So that's why I probably, when introduce yourself, I start to talk about dance. It's like so connected. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm grateful. Yeah.
It's who you are, which is lovely to hear. And I think it's amazing how many artists that we encounter that, you know, you can't really separate the art form from the person. And I think that's really beautiful. So thank you. And it was interesting hearing you talk about, and it was beautiful to get that history from when you first encountered dance, really, and how that's always been something from when you were a child. And now to hear about what you're bringing to other children and other people, you know, about connecting with the art form. So I guess the next question is about that. How do you define, or what you've already touched on it, but what are you bringing to the performing arts ecosystem? It sounds like you've really helped to continue that access and to help to increase access within Slovenia and within your city as well. So yeah, what would you say you're bringing to this performing arts ecosystem or arena that we have?
Maybe we are bringing young talents, because through our programs we can really, you know, offer, as I said, opportunities to many. But we also work a lot on this pyramid system through my institution, which means that we have dance events first on local level, then on regional level, and then on the national and international level. So through that system, we really can, detect or give opportunity to those who are really want to then maybe become professional or really start to work as a dance. So somehow without this base, we are always talking in Slovenia, without this base that I'm working on, there would not be professional dance, because we really need this system. And in Slovenia, this school system, it's not so much supporting dance education. I mean, it is developed and now it's quite okay, but some years ago it was not. So it's really like the base for the development also of Slovenian professional dance scene. So since I work now here for more than 15 years, I really remember some kids that are now already like dancing abroad, or some companies studying dance, or are even working as a professional dancers in Slovenia. And what I feel, I mean, I cannot, what I'm working on is, because we cannot really, reach all young people and dancers, we are working a lot on development of like good dance pedagogy, because if we have good dance teachers and also like teaching artists, that's how it is mostly in a contemporary dance field. So we really work a lot on development of like, maybe I would not say specific, but that we somehow develop the teachers also develop their teaching practice somehow like an art practice, because they are teaching art. So so we are really having lots of programs for dance teachers that they develop their practice, and through that practice they can work with young people, and so that's how we really help the development of Slovenian contemporary dance.
Fascinating. It sounds like there's a real, I mean, we mentioned the word ecosystem, and I know, but not to take it lightly, it almost feels like you're creating that sense of a cycle within the work that you do. So, feeding from quite a young age right up to those teachers that are then feeding back into that place. So in a way, you have your own dance ecosystem going on. So amazing work. So where do you draw inspiration from, Nina? So obviously I can tell that you're such a passionate person and clearly love what you do, which is refreshing to see. But yeah, where do you draw inspiration from? Who inspires you, or what inspires you? It could be.
Yeah, when I still worked as an artist, I was always, I'm still art. I'm very inspiring by contemporary art, usually. It's like, but very often it's not dance. Like I could be inspired being on some jazz concert, or I would go to see some great exhibition, and that would inspire me how to then transform this into dance practice. Or I'm also very inspired by having the dialogue with people, which is very important to me. Like, I can be inspired, but then to go further, to articulate some ideas, to think over them, I always need someone to talk with, that I can then verbally express my idea, get some feedback, and then even this idea can transform into somewhere else. So really this verbal exchange, having conversation with people who inspire me, or who I can also be relaxed to express myself. So also there is some trust. I always I really need this exchange with people. So also now in this position, when I start to maybe think about some new program, I always call someone, can we meet for coffee? I need to discuss a bit this idea I'm thinking about. And I like to hear other opinions also. And then I can more clearly develop my own idea. Maybe, I can be then more clear what I'm really going for. So conversations and this exchange with other people are so important to me. Like, I think because people working in dance, in performing art, we are used to work like collaboratively. So I always like a team of people, to have these brainstorming discussions and see where this can lead, rather than be in my own studio alone and thinking or trying out. I'm not the person. I remember when I used to work on my first solo, how frustrating that was, because it was like, okay, I have this dance studio, I'm alone here, and for me it was so hard. So then I invite someone to come to watch me, that I could really started to create something. So it's not for me, I'm not the person who would be like, alone and work, but I need other people.
Other people, absolutely. And it's nice because you mentioned earlier about when you were younger and you used to choreograph dances with your friends, and so it seems like there's always been that need for connectivity. Perhaps I might be reaching,
always.
Yes, yeah. And I think it's interesting because so many different art forms actually, whilst we have many different avenues and people are inspired by a lot of different things, actually that interaction and the level of interaction differs quite a lot across art forms. Because with dance, you were saying, in performing arts, it's kind of interreliant across disciplines. Whereas for some, you know, potentially some more visual arts or fine arts, you need that space and that isolation sometimes to express.
Live, and it's live form. So it's happening in the moment, because I mean, of course, also the writing or painting is happening, but then you have this and you can then look from the distance. But your own work, especially if you work on the solo, it's happening at the moment. And if you are you cannot look at your work, and and it disappears immediately. So it's like, I think that's why we are used to have in the moment someone to have an exchange with.
Absolutely. So with BIDE and with the recent BIDE programs, with the labs, we mused over, I guess, or considered questions, I guess, of what you have, what you leave. So what's your mark, what's your stamp, if you like, and what do you take? And that can be, you know, interpreted however you like. So I guess that's where we're going with the next questions. So you've spoken about being very collaborative. You obviously bring a lot to other people and facilitate a lot for other people. But I guess the question is, what do you feel that you have that makes you in the line of work that you do, or in your life, I guess, or these interactions? What do you leave for others, and what do you take? And again, this is not an exact science, but where does your mind go when we ask you these questions?
Now, what is the first one?
So what do you have? So what you have. And it's really about focusing more on, I guess, what didn't happen. It's not about what hasn't happened for you yet, but it's more about what right now, I guess, for you. What do you have? What are you leaving, and what are you taking? In your context.
It's always so hard to say something good about you. I mean, I don't know, not for everybody, but for me, it's like, if you would ask me almost what you don't have would be much easier question.
Exactly. And I think and I think that's what we're interested in, because we all have this, you know, it's very different across cultures, obviously, but this slight reluctance, and actually this is a chance to celebrate, you know, what does Nina have?
Wow. I think that I have this passion that I want to share, and somehow I think I mean, it's like I have this also. Like when I worked for my own work, and then I quit and start to work somehow for others, I started to feel good, better. So I think I have this ability to much better to help others. So I think somehow that I may be on the right position, because somehow it's fulfilling for me to see that I can do something for the community. And I'm happy that this is connected to dance, and that I can do that dance can develop. And I think that's maybe what I have. It's really this, that I'm not so much focused on myself, that I'm much more, my abilities to be there for others, and that makes me feel good. So it's like, I don't feel like, you know, that people would then I don't know now in English, explore, that they would this, you know, take from me. But I feel that people appreciate that, and that it's like that I'm having, I think I'm somehow good in having good relationship also with other people. And I think I learned also this through artistic processes, where we are used to I don't know, to also hear other opinion, that we don't need to agree, but we can still appreciate each other's differences and this. So I think I'm good in what I have. It's the ability to help others and to have also this good communication mostly with people. Rarely happens that I cannot somehow find a way to communicate with others, and that's how I'm. Yeah, what I'm giving. It's yes, I think because I would say that I'm also quite relaxed, and I mean I'm used to be on the stage and I feel good. So somehow. I think because how I do my things and quite relaxed way, that also I give people around me to also feel relaxed and good. And that it's everything okay. It's not like, oh, it's this okay. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe I shouldn't behave like that. But I think I give people this, that no, you're great as you are. Just be as you are. So I think like also then with how I am, also then people around me became more relaxed, and then it's everything is okay, and we are okay as we are, and we can say whatever we want. So I think I can create this relaxed environment. And what I take, yeah, I mean that all gives me lots of energy, and it's I get energy for out of that. I think like, yeah, it's then because if I feel that I can create a space and there were people where we feel good with each other, then of course I feel good and I get energy to go on this way. So
Beautiful.
yeah, that's I get, yeah, what I'm taking, it's from all this, I get energy to go on, I would say, and new passion to continue and dig and search and sing and yeah.
Beautiful, thank you. And I think it's so important, and actually the ability to create a space and to give other people space to relax and to be free to be themselves is really empowering. So I think it's actually a really special thing that you have, in that sense that you can unleash that from other people and the people that you collaborate with. So maybe
I'm not always that successful as it now sounds, and but I work on it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think it's really important and essential for the collaborative work that you do, I imagine. So we have a question about challenges, I guess. Have you ever thought about quitting? And if you have, I guess, if you have thought about quitting, how many times? Is this something that has crossed your mind? Have you ever thought, oh, that's it, I give up? Have you ever had those experiences?
Yes, I did. And it now crossed my mind. When I was younger, I was focused more on myself. I want to create my own work. It was more about me. And then, as I said, when I got to this position, I discovered how great it is to give to others opportunities, and it was like this was fulfilling me. Now and then you have your own kids and it's lots of giving to others. Now getting older, I'm thinking again maybe more about myself, that it's like, you don't always need, maybe sometimes you have to find more back yourself. So I go for yoga. I want to really take out of the work. So maybe I know now when I was younger, I couldn't be on one spot for too long. Now I can go and be 3 weeks on the seaside and read books and enjoy. So I think I'm now with like my age now, I want again a bit more somehow peace on my life, also that I gave a lot, that maybe there are some other new people which will come and can go on. So I would think I would with more older and older I will think I will more and more go out and back to myself, to have some more inner peace and more this. But there are also moments where you want to quit because of some people that you are like, yeah, of course. I mean, before I was saying how I can good, but sometimes there are some also obstacles, because you have to work with certain people that you wouldn't maybe, but you have to, and somehow sometimes you really think, no, I mean, with these people, no, I cannot do that. But then you have to, but sometimes, yeah, that are these moments that you would say, yeah. But then somehow, maybe then that is not that fulfilling, but then because maybe you have to do that, so somehow you manage, but it's the project that doesn't give you this energy that I was mentioning before, but it takes you an energy.
Sure. Yeah, that makes total sense. And then you need to find another project to refuel to get that energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So every time we interview somebody on our podcast, we ask them to ask or to leave a question for the next person that we meet. And I have a question here for you from our previous podcast guest.
Mm-hmm.
And the question is, this is from Laia, and the question is, are you connected? And I think we've already touched on this. So if there's anything else that you can bring in response to this, are you connected to what you're doing? And if you aren't, how are you changing the trajectory of what you're doing to be happier? So one more time. So are you connected to what you do? And if you aren't, what are you doing to make yourself happier?
Yeah. As I would say, as a dancer, I mean, I feel very connected, and not only with mind, but also with my body, because I'm really can relate also watching dance. You can see me sometimes moving in the audience or having some impulses. So I'm very connected, and it's very much connected also to how I feel in my body. So I would say maybe if I mean, that's why I still have to also work with my body. Now I do mostly yoga because it's good and you cannot injure yourself, but it's very much important that I would say if I lose the connection, that I would go to some dance class or yoga class, or at least to go to some party to to feel to feel my body. So because of course lately you work mostly in the you work with dance, but you don't dance, but still it's very body awareness, and it really helps me to go then back to my body. Is that an answer?
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. It's lovely. And it links, I guess, as well to what you just said about the energy. You know, if you found yourself in that situation where it had been a more challenging program or project, you have ways that you can return to yourself and to connect with that dancer that has always been there. So it's beautiful. There's a real cycle in what we're hearing, which is lovely. So the time is now for you to think of a question that you would invite our next guest to answer.
I don't, maybe, I'm now, because on all what we said, I would ask what is giving this person it's the same question. I don't know. What because you were talking about energy and inspire you, maybe I would ask which art piece, because usually that it's maybe more concrete, like maybe just to say which art piece can be like painting, movie, book, whatever, but which piece of art had a strong impact on this person, to be more maybe concrete. So that's my question. Or or dance performance, whatever. Or
Perfect. Yeah, perfect. It's nice. It's good. And I like that it's concrete. Yeah, and it'll send us all to some new art potentially to go and see.
Yeah.
Nina, the final question, basically, if you had to give your podcast, this discussion, this moment in time where you shared so much with us, if you had to give it a tagline or a slogan, what would it be? So what is the title of your podcast?
I already said this like a week before, but now somehow it's in Slovenian, so I don't know how, but it's like, we cannot talk about dance, we should dance. Go to dance. Sometimes I think, especially it's lots of talking in dance, but it's like, you cannot explain, maybe you cannot explain dance, you have to dance. Something like that.
You cannot explain dance, you have to dance.
Yeah.
I like it. And it's nice because we always we tend to go by the motto, move first, talk later. It fits perfectly with the BIDE philosophy as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing. Nina, it's been absolutely lovely chatting to you. I know it's a brief snapshot in time, but thank you so much. You've been a wonderful guest on the podcast, and I'm sure that our listeners will be really happy to hear from you and hear about you. And obviously we'll share, and please, feel free to share, and let's continue building this lovely friendship between us.
Yes. Thank you very much. And
you're very welcome. Thank you so much.
Bye.
And to our listeners, thank you so much for joining us on this 77th episode. We look forward to seeing you for the next B podcast.